Today's story is a haunting tale of Virginia Freeman, affectionately known as Ginger, a bubbly and friendly woman with a mysterious past. As a devoted real estate agent and loving mother, her life seemed idyllic until a chilling phone call led her to a secluded property where her life was brutally taken. Can advanced DNA analysis finally reveal the identity of her elusive killer, unraveling the enigma that has haunted investigators for decades? Hi, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the cold case of Ginger Freeman, unraveled after 38 years. Ginger was a nickname for Virginia Freeman, who was a friendly, open woman with a bubbly personality. She always had a smile on her face and loved helping people. As a real estate agent, she found a job that was a great fit for her. She was a natural at her job because she could work well with so many different kinds of people, and she was also very interested in real estate. Her coworkers said that when she talked about the ins and outs of the business, her eyes would light up. Ginger was 40 years old and worked at Real Estate Mart in Bryan, Texas, in 1981. Bryan, Texas is a vibrant city with a rich history and a close-knit community. Located in Brazos County, in the heart of the Brazos Valley, Bryan is adjacent to its sister city, College Station, home to Texas A&M University. Together, these two cities form a dynamic and culturally diverse area known for its friendly atmosphere and southern charm. Bryan boasts a unique blend of tradition and progress, evident in its well-preserved historic districts and modern developments. The downtown area exudes old-world charm with its historic buildings, local shops, and delightful eateries, making it a popular destination for residents and visitors alike. One of the city's notable landmarks is the Messina Hoff Winery, one of the oldest and most renowned wineries in Texas. Visitors can enjoy wine tastings, tours, and events in the picturesque vineyard setting. In 1981, there were no guys working as real estate agents. She and her husband Charles lived in College Station, Texas, which was close by. Brad and Betsy were their son and daughter. Ginger loved her family more than anything else. Some of her coworkers thought she only worked part-time instead of full-time because she worked so hard and quickly at the office that she was able to leave earlier than most of the other employees. She worked really hard so she could spend more time with her kids. She planned her busy work routine around the needs of her children and did everything she could to be home when they got home from school. Ginger was always on the go and loved being outside. She and her family went climbing and backpacking a lot. Ginger volunteered with the little free time she had when she was not working or taking care of her family. She helped out her church, the Girl Scouts, and the American Red Cross by giving her time. Her love of nature helped her always think of new things for the Girl Scouts to do outside. She also helped foreign students at Texas A&M University get used to living in the United States by working for free with them. Ginger and her husband were going to meet two of their friends for dinner on December 1st, 1981. But at 3:00 p.m. that afternoon, she got a call in her office. A guy with a country-sounding accent said he had $1,073 in cash and wanted to use it to buy a house on Greens Prairie Road. The house was on a quiet road in a country part of College Station at the time. Ginger agreed to meet the caller at the property to show him the house because she did not want to miss out on a cash sale, which could often be done more quickly and easily than a sale with financing. She stopped at home to see her kids on the way. She told them where she was going and that she would be home in time for dinner. Ginger did not get home in time to get ready for dinner. At 7 p.m., her worried husband Charles told the police that she was missing. He also called her office to find out where Ginger was going to show the possible buyer the house. He and the husband of one of Ginger's coworkers went out to look for her. They started at the house she was going to show that afternoon. Behind the isolated house, they found Ginger's body. Ginger had been hit in the head with what was thought to be a 4.5-pound piece of concrete. She had been choked hard enough to break her neck, and she had been stabbed 11 times in the neck. She had been sexually assaulted, as would be found out by a later test. Her death happened around 3:30 p.m., just a half hour after Ginger got the phone call that brought her to the property. The house on the site was still locked, so Ginger was probably attacked as soon as she got there. Ginger had fought so hard for her life that she left marks in the dirt at the scene. 2 days after the murder, a group of local real estate agents said they would give a total of $10,000 to anyone who could help solve the case. On December 4th, 1981, there were more than 900 people at Ginger's funeral. In Ginger's name, a memorial fund was set up in February 1982 to help foreign students and their families when they moved to Texas. On May 2nd, 1982, the Girl Scouts of Central Texas gave Ginger's memory a quiet piece of land at Camp Howdy, their campground in Bryan. The land is called the Ginger Freeman Primitive Area, and it is where young campers learn how to set up their sites. Bill Ward, one of Ginger's coworkers at the Real Estate Mart, would later use Ginger's story to teach new real estate agents how to stay safe when showing homes, especially to clients they had never met before. Even though Ginger was killed decades ago, Bo could never bring herself to sell a house in the same neighborhood where Ginger was killed. The early investigation was thorough and wide-ranging, but it did not find a person who was definitely responsible for Ginger's death. Even though years had passed since the murder, the police did not give up on the case. Known serial killers like Coral Eugene Watts and Henry Lee Lucas were interviewed as part of the investigation, but they were not considered suspects in the end. Over the years, agents followed more than 50 leads and went all over the United States to look into possible suspects. The goal of hypnotizing witnesses was to get them to remember new information. When Ginger was killed, police did not have DNA tests, but investigator Dick Gullidge was smart enough to cover Ginger's hands with plastic bags at the scene of the crime. He worked with the Office of the Medical Examiner to make sure Ginger's toenails and anything under them were kept. Tests done decades later would show that the killer's DNA was under Ginger's fingernails when she was trying to fight him off. Once technology had improved enough for investigators to know how to use it, the DNA would be a key piece of proof. In 1997, evidence from the case was sent to a DNA lab for testing, and a DNA profile was made. Over the years, neither criminal records nor any of the many people who could have done it matched it. A big break in the case came in early 2017 when the TV show National Geographic Explorer offered to pay for advanced DNA analysis in the case in exchange for the help of detectives in making a segment about Ginger's murder. Snapshot, a forensic research program made by Parabon Nanolabs, was the DNA test in question. Based on a person's DNA makeup, the program can guess things about their appearance, such as the color of their hair and eyes, and make an image of what they might look like. The research made 2 pictures of what Ginger's killer might have looked like when he or she was younger and older. In April 2017, Brazos County Sheriff Chris Kirk showed the pictures at a press meeting. He did this in the hopes that someone would come forward and say they knew a man who looked like the man in the pictures and could be looked into as a possible suspect. But Parabon's continued work with the department would help solve the case in the end. In June 2018, Sheriff Kirk held another news conference. This time, he said that Parabon had used genetic genealogy to show clearly and convincingly that Ginger's killer was James Otto Earhart. Earhart could not be caught and tried for her murder, though, because the state of Texas had already put him to death on August 11, 1999. Earhart was put to death because he was found guilty of capital murder for killing 9-year-old Candy Kirtland in 1987. Candy went to Crockett Elementary School in Bryan, Texas. She was in the 4th grade. She went missing on May 12, 1987, after her school bus dropped her off near her home. Her body was found in a wooded area off of a dirt road in Bryan. She still had on the same clothes she was wearing when she disappeared. Her arms were tied behind her back with an electrical cord, and she was shot once in the back of the head. Earhart recently went to Candy's neighborhood to ask about a paint gun that was for sale in a newspaper ad. On the day Candy went missing, people saw him and his car near her house. Just a few hours before Candy's body was found, he was taken to prison because of what happened to her. He said he gave Candy a ride the day she went missing, but he said he was not the one who killed her. He was put on trial and found guilty based on what other people said and what was found in his blood. The police said that Earhart was on their minds when they were looking into Ginger's death. After Parabon put the DNA profile made from the evidence found under Ginger's fingernails into family databases, there was DNA evidence that linked him to the crime. Then they found two women who they thought were second cousins of the killer based on how much DNA they shared with the provided profile. Then they looked into the families of the women's common great-grandparents, one of whom was Amelia Earhart. Before Earhart was put to death, no sample of his DNA was taken. His son gave a sample of his DNA to the police, which showed that he was the son of the person whose DNA was found at the crime scene. This led to the news that Earhart was the one who killed Ginger. In June 2018, Earhart's body was dug up to get a direct DNA sample. When that sample was tested in August 2019, the DNA found under Ginger's fingernails proved that it came from Earhart. Nearly 38 years after Ginger's death, officials thought they had finally found out who killed her. Sheriff Kirk expressed his happiness that the case was finally over, but he regretted not being able to arrest the suspect and bring him to trial for the brutal murder of Virginia Freeman. Charles, Ginger's husband, did not live long enough to find out who killed his wife. When Earhart was named as the person who killed Ginger, her children were living in Austin. They put out a statement thanking the police for how hard they worked on their mother's case. Share your thoughts about this case. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.